I am recording now, and just for starters, if you don't mind giving me your name and the spelling of your name, and then what community you live in.
My name is Kimberly Jones. It's Kimberlee and Jones. And I lived on Bunny Drive, which is all the way down Lawson Valley.
And how do you spell your last name?
Jones, Jones.
Okay, got it. Okay, so what a last couple of days it's been. We're in the 6th day of the fire. Can you tell me, first of all, leading up to the fire, did you have any idea that it may come towards your home?
No, I took a nap and I woke up. I was about to get ready to go back to, I make rosaries for people in my house on my Etsy store, and I was about to go back to it. And then I walked into the dining room and it smelled like the most perfect Christmas pine fire. And I was like, and then there was kind of haze through the living room. I'm like, that's a lot of smoke just to be already in the house. And I looked outside and there was like this golden haze, and I was like, okay, where's the fire? And then I ran out of the house and it was just blue skies, and I'm like, it's behind the house. And I ran behind the house, and that's when I saw this massive pillar of brown black smoke, and I knew we were in trouble because the smoke was coming it was just all just over the house. And so I ran inside. I called my sister. She didn't pick up. I called the fire department. They didn't pick up. Called 911, and they said that the area is being evacuated. We were hearing sirens, police sirens, going up and down the streets. And she said that they're trying to get people out of their houses. And I said, okay. I hung up, and then I was trying to get the kids dressed, and then I ran outside again to check on it. And then that's when I saw the fire. It was coming over the hill and it was several miles away, but the flames were so big that I actually saw it. It looked like it was walking forward as it just kept eating up whatever was in front of it. And I screamed and I ran inside and I grabbed my kids and I took off.
Oh my God. I mean, most of us have never seen a fire of that size. What did you think when you saw that wall of flames?
Terror. I didn't know what to think. I was hoping that my house, that somehow the wind would carry it, like, away from my house in my neighborhood. But, I definitely didn't want to wait it out. And so all I could think about was my kids. I didn't think about what was in my house. I didn't think about grabbing anything. I just thought about my kids and our safety. And I bolted.
Can you describe what that was like? Organizing your kids and trying to flee from this fire?
I was very, what do I need to get done? And so that they're dressed, out of the house. We have our shoes, except we actually ended up running out of the house without their shoes. But and they had their shirts, their pants on, and I'm like, they said, can we bring our stuffed animals? And I said, grab what you want, and I didn't think about a whole lot. I grabbed my rosary and I just bolted out the house. And we have a dog, and I screamed for him, and he was reluctant to come in the truck because he gets car sick, but I told him to get in and he ran in. And so, yeah, but I also have horses, and that was terrifying. And I looked at them and I closed the gate and I just gave him to God. And I said, take care of him, please. Because I had to take care of my kids first. So I was hoping that I could go down to St. Pius and call some people up to help me get the horses out. But by the time the trailers were back over there, the fire had spread so fast that they wouldn't let us down there. So I went up on the ridge on Mark Lee, and I saw this huge wall of fire, like 50 to 100-foot flames, and the plane, coming in and dumping retardant. And as soon as it was like a few minutes, I don't know, maybe a minute, when they dumped down the retardant, and then it seemed to abate the fire for a little bit, and then all of a sudden the fire would just eat up more, and then it would just explode into flames and keep going. And I was just totally stunned, and I was just staring because behind that wall of fire was my house and my horses.
Oh. Can you describe, did your horses die in the fire?
No,
What
they didn't even
happened?
have any burn marks. I gave them to God and he took care of them. All of them survived. It was incredible.
That is remarkable. So you have you laid eyes on one yourself, or how did you know
Yeah,
about it?
I saw them, and I've gotten some pictures of the ones that, because they were spread out with different rescuers. But yeah, I've seen them, and I was just looking at them and I'm like, how? There's nothing on them.
Oh my God. Um, c- tell me what you lost in this fire. What happened? How much did this fire consume?
All of my rosary supplies, and a 1977 pristine edition of the Silmarillion for Lord of the Rings, 1965 edition Lord of the Rings, um, my aunt's American-made oak table, dining room table, china hutch, uh, Civil War china for my family, a sword, which I'm hoping I might be able to find. All of my dad's died, and all of his clothes, his suits, my saddles, just, everything I had in the world that, a lot of that stuff can't be replaced.
It's heartbreaking. And were you watching when your house went up in flames from the ridge? Can you describe that?
I couldn't actually see it because it was moving so fast by the time I actually went and saw it that it already consumed. It was already down exposition heading towards Mark Lee. It was it was so fast. It was probably within an hour, I would say, that my house was already in flames by the time I bolted out the door. This is Elizabeth.
And now you're staying in Temecula area?
I'm up in Temecula. My aunt is up here trying to help me. I'm in I have insurance, and they helped me with a hotel, but that insurance claim isn't gonna go in for a long time. So I have a GoFundMe page. I was hoping so I can get back on my feet. I was making money with groceries. I don't have any money to buy supplies or for food, and my family can only do so much, but we're not rich. So they can't just go, okay, here you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
So
see you have your two most precious things with you. How have
yes,
you been able to explain that, and have they asked any questions?
I'm sorry, I didn't know to hear you.
I said, how have you been able to communicate with your children, and have they asked any questions about,
um
what happened?
Elizabeth doesn't really understand because she's 3, but Colin, it's hard because he'll hear a siren and then he'll immediately look at me and say, do we need to run? It's just, if he's 5 and he already has this, like, I hear the sirens, we need to go.
Yeah, yeah, this is tough. But like you say, I mean, those are your most precious things in the world, and they're alive and they're with you, and that's great. And you
Yeah,
can replace all this other stuff.
yes, the other stuff can be most of it. But yeah, the horses couldn't be replaced. My dog couldn't be replaced, and my 2 most treasured people could never be replaced. So
Yeah, yeah. Any more thoughts on what you think about how quickly this came upon us, and what it's like to go through this, that you want to share with our viewers?
um, honestly, it's just the same old thing that you hear. It's like, don't leave old, like this. I heard that this came about from a tractor that was leaking gas in the hot sun. Take care of your things. Don't smoke. and then throw your cigarette. You know, I mean, so many houses were lost. My neighbor Ron, he lost his house. He's fortunate that he's retired, so he has a nice little nest egg. But a lot of the people, they don't have that kind of backup. And like me and my kids, and um, but you just have to. I think what's really important is that to not think about the stuff that you can replace, because I've also heard of people that they just stay and collecting their things to the point where then it's upon them and then they can't get out. And it's like, take your children, take your animals, and get out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially if you see the fire coming at. I mean, I'm not. Those flames were so huge, and they were several miles away, and I saw it just like coming and eating a bunch of the what was next coming, and it was horrifying. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Wow. And interesting the way you talk about it eating almost like it's just consuming.
Yeah, it was just it was kind of like, you know, in the movies where it's like, you know, the lava or the fire just kind of like, you know, and I think it was Dante's Peak, you know, where it's just like you have no time. And it was just, I can't believe it. It was like an hour, you know, when I went up on the ridge and the fire was already just past my house.
And you were standing there trying to get a look at your horses just to see.
I was trying to get help, and I didn't even realize that that was the road that we were looking at, where there was the fire was already there, was exposition, until this lady that she had this house on Craig, and she said, well, that's exposition because that's my house. And I was just standing there dumbfounded because it just moved so quick. It was unreal.
And it sounds like you've got a strong community of neighbors too. Have they been in contact with you?
Yeah, my neighbor Mike and my neighbor Ron, they've reached out to try to talk to me. I can't, I'll need to talk to some church friends that can watch them so I can go down there. They've just opened up the road down Lawson so that people can try and see what's left. I'm not expecting anything, as I was shown the rescuers of my horses showed a photograph of my house, and it was burned all the way down to the foundation. So there's nothing left.
Well, you know, what is it like to experience that?
Shock, just devastated. Like, you go from like going, gosh, you know, if I'm ever gonna move, I have so much stuff to pack, and then all of a sudden everything's gone. That you know, I was thinking, gosh, those bookshelves I had when I was in college in 2008, and I never, you know, looking at them, and just, you know, I just keep thinking about the flames just eating up my house and everything that we had. When I bought those things, I never thought that they would be just burned. Maybe given away to somebody in need, but never burned.
And what is your address?
It's 18240 Bunny Drive, like the bunny rabbit, in Jamul, J-A-M as in Mary, U-L.
I'm going to try and see if one of our crews can go by there today. And do you have pictures or anything of the damage that you could share with me?
I have some photos that were sent to me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, and we're going to get the GoFundMe out there, and you know, stay strong. There's a lot of people, you know, that are pulling.
There's a lot of people that need help. You know, I'm just hoping that we can all come together as a community to help everyone that was lost.
I think we will. We have great viewers that want to help.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kimberly. And look at
Thanks,
those beautiful
Martin.
kids.